Welcome everyone. Um, on behalf of Connections, as you can see, it's only me and Evangeline today. I wanted to welcome you all to Experience Japan, traditional craftsmanship in the Japanese knife capital, kindly organized by Nanami Granger, founder and CEO of 80 Days and her wonderful team. I think I know most of you, but for those of you who haven't met me personally, well, my name is Alex, and I'm the head of Buyer Relations for Connections. What we're going to do today, we're going to learn about deeply rooted tradition of scissor craftsmanship by first visiting the atelier of a fifth generation scissor craftsman. Here, we're going to see firsthand his production methods and approach to creating the perfect tools for his clients. Afterwards, we're going to visit a Japanese landscape gardener and learn how he uses these carefully designed tools in his work. As I said, it's really lovely to see many of you logged on. I know it's late for some of you, but if you can turn your cameras on, that'd be great to get some more interaction if possible. Please feel free to ask any questions using the chat button, and we will ask throughout the experience when the experience allows. If not, we'll just save the questions for the end. Well, that's it for me. And I'm gonna introduce you now to Kira Blount, who is the lead guide for 80 days and who's gonna start off this very exclusive experience. So Kira, it's over to you.
Good morning. So I am Kira. I am the head tour guide of 80 Days Japan. We are a DMC located in Tokyo, Japan, and we had basically custom tours all across the country. So we have today the blacksmith shop Sasuke here in Sakai, Japan, in southern Osaka. And in just a bit, I'm going to bring you inside and show you a bit of the history of the shop and the family. We'll show you inside the atelier. We'll show you how the blacksmith actually creates these beautiful crafted scissors. And then we'll pass you on over to Nanami to show you how they work in action. So first of all, let's go inside and introduce the family. Take this off. This is the new tour guide skill, switching from mask to mask. All right. All right. So here we are inside Sasuke and the family who are a family business. So we have Hirakawa Yasuhiro, our blacksmith. He's the fifth generation blacksmith of his family, and he is basically contributing to the tradition of scissor making continuing into the next generation. His wife, Tomiko, she does the administrative work, and his daughter, Keiko, who does the communications with customers, and his son, Satoki, who is studying to take over from him and continue this craft into the next generation. So, arigatou gozaimasu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. All right, and so we'll take you a little bit deeper into the house and we'll show you kind of the history and the legacy of this family. So you'll notice that in Japan, there's a little entryway where you always have to take your shoes off before you go inside. So your feet are dirty. So this house is in fact quite old, and it's been maintained as the site of the shop. And as we go in here, I'll let our camera person go ahead. So here we have a bit of a portrait gallery. A little bit of history about the actual area that we're in now. Historically, in the Edo period, it was kind of a time of insulation in Japan from the outside world, and a time without domestic warfare. And without war, blacksmiths had no reason to create swords, so their work transitioned to things like kitchen knives that Sasuke creates. So as I mentioned, Mr. Hirakawa is the fifth generation. So what you're seeing now are the four generations that preceded him. So his grandfather, his great-grandfather, and his great-great-grandfather, and his father. right? And one of the interesting things about Mr. Hirakawa's history is that he actually studied um, katana artisanship as well as scissor artisanship. So the scissors he creates are actually quite unique. Over here, you can see an example of the kind of scissors that he uses. So for example, these are the most expensive scissors that he sells, which are about $35,000. So these are handcrafted. They take about a week to make. They're extremely rare. He's the only one who can create them and design them the way they are. And now another fantastic thing that you won't see in many other households in Japan. These boxes that you're seeing now were actually given to the Hirakawa family by a feudal lord in the Kochi region, down south of here. So essentially, this family was involved in the trading industry for centuries, and then they transitioned over to blacksmithing. And around the end of the Edo period, this lord decided to recognize the family for their loyalty and their contributions to society with these custom-made boxes with their family crest emblazoned on the front. This was very rare for anyone who wasn't in the noble class. So it kind of gives an impression of how much of a contributing force they were to the area. And then we'll come in here. Sorry. So down here we have a display of the kind of products that Sasuke creates. These are kind of the processes that they go through from metal to scissor handle. And again, as I said, this takes about a week to create. And they have a very special feature to them that no other scissor in the world has. They don't have a straight edge the way most industrial scissors do. Instead, they have a curve more like a propeller, so that when you cut, you can't even feel the blade going through the paper. It's incredible to feel. I've never felt anything like it. This would be the point during a live experience where I would actually hand you the scissors and show you what it's like. So something to look forward to. And over here on the left, we have the knives that Sasuke creates. These are incredibly sharp as well. As I mentioned, Mr. Hirakawa actually worked with a katana artisan at the age of 40, and he learned how to make a katana-like shape to his kitchen knives. So you can tell they're a little unique looking compared to most kitchen knives. And his son Satoki right now is in charge of the marble work and the design on the blade. So in the future, he'll take over for actually creating the knives, but for now, he's in charge of more of the design elements. All right, and now we'll take you into the atelier, and we'll actually show you Mr. Hirakawa at work. And if you have any questions now, it's a kind of good time to shout them out as I put my shoes back on.
What's the average price for the knives?
For the knives, that's a good question. They range quite a bit. It depends what kind of knife you want to get, the size, the purpose. None of them are going to be $35,000. That is very much their most expensive price point. But yeah, we can give more details for the whole range of collection that they have afterwards. Here we go. All right. Back into the chilly February air. So as you can see, the whole shop is in this gorgeous Edo style home. Their house is on this side, and now connected is the atelier that we'll go into now. getting.
Kira.
Yes.
Okay, no,
Yes.
yeah, I think we lost you for a bit, for 5 seconds, but I think you're back now.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Yeah, working one of the knives that we saw inside.
Kira, can you just repeat what you just said, because we didn't hear that.
Okay. So he right now is working on one of the kitchen knives that we saw inside.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'll be in here winter, summer, regardless of the weather. And we've asked him before if it bothers him, and he doesn't seem to mind. Very strong. He's much stronger than I would be, I can say that. All right, so we'll let him continue his work in peace. So of course, during a live experience, this would not be during a live tour, I should say, this would not be the only part of the tour. This would be part of a larger integrated experience where we would also include things like the garden that you're about to see, as well as a sushi restaurant nearby for lunch, where you can get things like, one moment. There we go. So there's a sushi restaurant nearby that actually uses the kitchen knives made at Sasuke. So when you would come here for a tour, we try to create tours that have sort of a larger story surrounding them. So, you know, for example, the knives that you would see created here, we would take you to lunch where they use the knives, as well as the bonsai garden where you can see them being used as work tools. So we try to create kind of an integrated experience that lets you appreciate all angles of these products. So yes, so this has been Sasuke, a marvelous blacksmith shop, a cultural icon, and thank you very much for joining us. And now I'll transition you over to my boss, Nanami, who is waiting nearby to show you the magic of bonsai.
Thank you, Kira. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nanami, the founder of 80 Days. I'm now standing in front of Mr. Yoshikawa's house. He's a landscape gardener creating lots of Japanese gardens from big to small for shrines, temples, shops, and house owners. He has been doing this job for over 30 years, and he uses the highest quality clippers made by Mr. Hirakawa. So now he will demonstrate the art of bonsai. So let's go in. こんにちは。よろしくお願いします。Here's Mr. Yoshikawa, and I'll show you some bonsais here first. So these are all bonsai trees. For example, this one here is over 100 years old, but its shape and size never changed in that time. This is very cute. And look at this one, like it's more like a decorative one. And this one here, he's going to trim, is called bonsai, bunjin bonsai, which is also called literati bonsai in English. So this unique shape is not actually artificial, but the original creator of this bonsai found this tree in nature and decided to make it into a portable piece of natural art. So, ではすいません、始めていただいてよろしいですか。はい。So now he's going to start trimming this tree with scissors created by Sasuke. It depends on the type of bonsai, but he needs to maintain this practice usually every 3 to 4 months. You might think this is like cutting hair every month or so, but in nature, natural trees won't grow as simply as your hair. For example, ancient Japanese thought that the shadow a tree creates is beautiful, but it is more beautiful when the wind goes through, making the branches and the shadow shake in silence. This is called wabi-sabi. It's an ancient Japanese aesthetic sense, which you may have heard of before. In order to keep that beauty, he needs to cut branches in a way that they won't go too thick, otherwise they won't move with the wind, which is not beautiful enough for us. So in nature in general, higher branches tend to get thicker as they get more sunshine. So this is one of the most challenging part of his job. He needs to trim trees to make the ideal shape. So as you watch him work, also listen closely to the sounds his scissors create. So this bonsai is actually the one of his clients. So he needs to upkeep the original shape for his clients every 3 or 4 months, like this. So in our in-person experience, we let our guests interact with him to deeply understand about bonsai and Japanese gardens. And after finishing here, this is not going to happen today, but he will escort you to a nationally certified Japanese garden, which is a cultural property. Although it's not open to the public, because he designs and maintains the garden, he can let you in and show you around. And this is the part of his own garden.
And I mean, how long does it take to grow a bonsai like that? Because it's really big.
It's been here since 30 or 40 years ago, never changed. So that's the technique that he needs to use to upkeep the size and the shape as it used to be from the beginning. Because the original creator of this bonsai thought this shape was beautiful. So he wanted to keep the shape like forever. And in order to keep it forever, he needs to upkeep this beauty like every 3 to 4 months.
So I'm guessing I wouldn't be able to grow up bonsai tree like that at home myself.
So there are lots of different types. So if you have like an easy one, you can read the instruction and grow by yourself. But this is like a really special one called bunjin bonsai, which is like really rare. So it is really hard to maintain this practice by like if you are not professional.
Yeah, definitely not professional.
Yeah, you need to take years to learn what to do.
Does anyone have a bonsai tree in the room? Cesar likes it, but he never had one.
So now he's decorating the bonsai underneath. So these moss came from Kyoto, and these are designed for bonsai. Okay.
Nanami, Paula was just asking if that big stone is just there for like decoration, or does it have like a purpose?
It's a weight to not to let it fall, make it fall, because it's heavier on the right side.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's complete now. He took only 10 minutes to make it this beautiful bonsai.
Nice.
So let's ask him how he improved his skill like this.
Yes, please.
はい。じゃあ質問します。こういったスキルを身につけるのにはどういうことをされましたか？
日々ですね、勉強なんで、それとあと見聞を広げるためにいろんな場所に見に行ってます。で特にここが素晴らしいっていうところも行きますけども、一般目線で素晴らしくないっていうところも見に行きます。なぜならば、素晴らしくないところにもいいところがあると僕自身は考えてるんで、そこでもいいものを見出すという力をつけていこうと思ってしてます。それによって文人盆栽、素晴らしくないような盆栽植物でも素晴らしいものに持っていくような技量、力がついたと思います。
ありがとうございます。
はい。
Okay, so I'm going to translate. First of all, he says he needs to study a lot by himself. So by going to the gardens, not only like the well-known famous Japanese gardens, but also bad gardens, like which has really unorganized bonsais or trees around, so that he can learn what's bad about it and what's good about it, even from the bad gardens. So as he mentioned, studying is important, and usually apprentices never learn directly from their boss, but they have to watch him closely, carefully, and then learn from him by just watching, and until he gets to the point where he can feel what he has to do. So it is like very artistic job rather than something that everybody can learn. So as he said, you just keep studying for years and years to start feeling what you have to do. So that's what he said about learning and developing the skill. So now he's going to show you some different types of scissors he uses. はい、お願いします。ここで、はい。So as I mentioned, he uses Sasuke scissors, but there are different types of scissors for gardening. Mainly, there are two sizes.
And I mean, Melody was asking like, how big can a bonsai tree get? How big? How tall?
Yeah, I asked the question to him before, and
Yeah.
it can go as big as you want, but smaller is maybe beautiful in a sense of Japanese aesthetic. So they tend to be smaller. But recently we found one of the oldest bonsai, which was made 1,000 years ago, and it was like as big as like a normal tree. So yeah, any shape and size is possible. So これがSasukeさん。
これサスケですか。
So this is from Sasuke. As you can see the logo. And then these two are different brands, which are less good, according to
こ
him.
れもサスケ。
And this is Sasuke scissors as well. So according to him, the sound scissors create is very different when it's Sasuke scissors. It has like a higher sound. 動かして音って出せますか? Yeah, like this. Yeah, and it cuts really well the bonsai trees. ありがとうございます。
安物はこんな音。
And this one is a cheaper brand, so you probably can see the difference.
これは量産型。機械なんです
It's industrial scissors. So it doesn't have like a higher pitch compared to the Sasuke one. I hope you can hear it well, but
We can, yeah.
of course, in a real experience, you can hear the difference like really well. ありがとうございます。
だからこれもこんなそうですよ。これも違う。
This is industrial as well. It has like a very different sound. ありがとうございます。
これ鳴らしなのか。
はい。
だからこれが一番機械の。
And this is industrial, which is very flat. There's no sound.
これも手打ちやけど、そこまで。
This is not Sasuke, although it's handmade, which is not really smooth.
で、これがサスケさんはやっぱり、こんな音が違うから。
And then the Sasuke scissors makes a sound. As Kira explains, the these pots are like twisted in order to capture trees, branches to cut very well. ありがとうございます。
いいですか。
So Japanese gardens are world famous for its beautiful, organized and peaceful aesthetic. In order to achieve this, they need to be carefully planned and designed by professional like Mr. Yoshikawa. So maintaining a balance between all the elements and developing an understanding how each aspect interacts the rest of the garden are very crucial. So I guess we have we don't have enough time. Time is running out. I probably need to close this session soon, but maybe we can take some questions if you have any.
Of course, does anyone have any questions? If not, I think we still have a couple more minutes, right, Evangeline?
Regarding the prices of knives, Kira, can you go inside the shop and look at the display on the left? I think they have price labels.
We cannot really see Kira. If you can.
It's not crazy expensive as far as I remember. So it's affordable, although it's not super cheap, as it lasts like forever, and you can keep maintaining and sharpening the knives really well. It lasts like a lot of years, so it's worth buying and paying for that price.
It's 126 yen, 132,000 yen.
Yeah, and knives. Do they have labels? Yeah.
How much is that in dollars approximately?
$250 or $300. Some are nearly $200. But each one says like, this is for this specific fish, this is for that fish and this fish, as they are designed to cut different types of fish. So a lot of sushi chefs love these knives, but some are like a general ones. So you can probably get the normal general one for your cooking knives.
And then you can work up to a larger collection.
Yeah.
I have Paul asking if Sasuke is the name of the family, or does the name mean something? Does it have like a meaning? It's just a family name.
It is not actually family name. They are called Hirakawa. So Sasuke is a business company name, like a brand name, and it was taken from Mr. Hirakawa's grandfather.
I think that's right. I can ask.
Yeah.
Let me take my earphone out.
おじい様のお名前。
の方はまあ2代目の人がちょっと考えて、先っていう名前。
And then he, the second generation of the founder.
I see. So essentially, it came from the second generation. So not the original founder, but the second founder. So it was a name that sort of developed over time. Sakichi. Sorry. Usually when tour guiding, I don't have all of the accessories. So the name itself isn't connected to the family name. It's just sort of a brand name that they created for the company itself. So it was originally the name of they had to make a change from the trading industry that they were in to the blacksmithing industry. So it was sort of the new brand image that they were going for.
Amazing. Great. So I think if we don't have any more questions, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
All
Does
right.
anyone have any
sure.
more questions? No? Well, okay, great. Well, I mean, I wanted to thank you all, guys. Well, Nanami, obviously, Hirakawa-san, Yoshikawa-san, Kira, obviously, the team back in the office, all of you guys. Arigato gozaimasu. I probably haven't pronounced that right, but I thought I'd try. Well, we love learning about the level of detail and preparation it takes. It's actually pretty amazing. So thank you again for organizing this experience for us. Well, that marks the end of the session.